Hey, everybody. I'm Jim, and I'm Abby's dad. So that's my only claim to fame my entire life. I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy lives to come and help us celebrate today. Really appreciate that. It means more than you can ever know. And especially want to thank Justin's family for being so kind and welcoming us to your community and your family. Thank you so much. It means the world to us. And I want to give a shout out to all those people who have traveled today, who come from small towns and farms like I do, and are finding the Chicago area just a little challenging. I mean, the traffic and the parking and the price of everything. It's a little bit of a culture shock, but it's good. It's good to get out and experience new things. So thank you for welcoming us to our community. Wow. Our daughter got married today, and I know it's cliche to say, but where did the time go? It seems like just yesterday that we loaded up the old car and we headed to Des Moines, Iowa to pick up this little girl that came to us from Korea. And I have to admit, the first time I saw her, I was like, oh my God. She was this tiny, frail little thing. She looked, well, I don't want to say malnourished, but she just, she kind of held her head to one side. She didn't talk. She looked kind of listless. And I'm thinking, as a dad, I'm like, oh boy, what have we got ourselves into now? We're going to have a lifetime of taking care of this child, which I was ready to do, but it didn't look like it was going to develop into the fairy tale that I thought it was going to be. Little did I know that was all a ruse developed by Abby. She was sandbagging us. She set us up, there's no doubt about it. Within about 2 weeks, maybe a month, she was pretty much running our entire household. And she continued to run our household till the day she left for college. And then on break, she would come home and pick up the pieces because quite literally, our household fell apart when Abby left. Because if you know Abby, she is the most organized person in the entire world. So Justin, if you could just let her come home once in a while just to kind of straighten out our finances and stuff, it would be a big help. It really would. Yep. I've got a lot of stories I could tell about Abby, but I'd be up here all night if I did that. One thing I do want to say is, this is the day that every father dreams about, and at the same time, every father dreads. You're excited that she's found the man of her dreams, someone she wants to spend the rest of her life with. But you're also filled with dread because you know you're being replaced. This day is really kind of a paradox. It's definitely an emotional roller coaster. And yet this is as it's supposed to be, I think. In your heart, you're filled with joy that your little girl has found someone that she's chosen to share the rest of her life with. So well done, Abby. Well done. But as a dad, I do have to tell one funny story, right? Got to tell a dad joke. And rather than just tell it about Abby, I'll tell it about both of them because first time I met Justin, it was just kind of a hi and goodbye. It was out in Spokane where Abby had mentioned they'd gone skiing or something. And we were flying out about the same time they were flying in. So I really didn't get to spend any time and get to know Justin until we came to Chicago, and Abby and my wife Leanne were shopping for wedding dresses. And I think they planned it so Justin and I would have to do some man bonding or whatever they call it nowadays. And I will say, I don't think Justin and I have a whole lot in common. But that's okay, that's okay. He's patient with me. I'm probably not as patient with him, but I try. But anyway, one thing we decided to do, and he humored me, we decided to go to the Chicago Auto Show, because I'm kind of a car guy. So they went shopping, we headed to the Chicago Auto Show, and very first thing, that I've learned about Chicago is your people, your whole life revolves around finding a parking spot, I think. But somehow Justin managed to find one right outside the front door, and I'm like, wow, this guy must be a VIP or something, So we park, we go in, we spend a couple hours looking at the cars, and we had planned on meeting Abby and Leanne later for supper. And as we left, we go out, go to the car, and there's a ticket on the car. And Justin had this look and panic in his eye, and I'm like, so you got a parking ticket, right? First words out of his mouth, don't tell Abby. Don't tell Abby. Okay, won't tell Abby. So we go to leave, and I don't know if it was where we were intending to go or if he was kind of nervous about the whole thing, but we ended up on Lower Wacker Drive. Now, as a person not from Chicago, I've heard horror stories. I've heard tourists go on Lower Wacker Drive and are never heard from again. I don't know. But we went down there and we're flying, and Justin seems like he knows where he's going. And he goes, yeah, we turn up here. And we get up there and it's closed. So we fly past that exit and we go to the next one. And he's going so fast that we miss that exit. And I don't know, it seemed like we went around in circles about 3 or 4 times, but we eventually got out of there. And we went to Giordano's, I believe it was, because Justin does not like Illuminati's, I found out. Anyway, we met the girls for dinner. And we walk in, and I swear to God, we no more sat down, and Abby looks at Justin, and she says, what's wrong? And he's like, nothing, why? And she goes, you got a parking ticket, didn't you? And I'm like, what? He's looking at me like I narked him out or something, and I'm like, I swear to God, I didn't say a word, Didn't say a word. And all I'm thinking is, man, you're not going to be able to get by with anything, are you? Anything. I guess the other thing I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to give advice to the married couple. That's like asking the fox to watch the hen house, I think, but I guess I'll just say this, and it's common sense. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. Everybody knows that. My mother-in-law told me the other day that people nowadays seem to think that marriage should be 50-50, but she says it never is. She says some days it's 60-40, some days it's 70-30. For me, it's a good day if it's 95-5, I don't know, but you roll with it, right? And in the end, I think it all averages out, but time will tell. But I will say this. Leanne and I have been married 42 years. Have no idea how or why that she has stuck with me this long, but thank you for doing so. But I will say that if there's one thing that I have learned is, and it's good advice not just for married people, but I think for everybody in general with all the things going on in the world today, talk less, listen more, because you can learn a lot if you just listen to somebody. And when you listen, don't listen with this, listen with this.
think it will serve you well.
Last thing, before I take a seat, one last task, and it's both my honor and my privilege. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses and join with me, wishing them a long, healthy, and a very happy future together. To Abby and Justin.